how to buy your first investment property. A lot of you have been asking me, you've been telling us about buying your first buy-to-let property. How do you do it? And I think the way to answer this question is to break it into different ways, because there can be a how to buy as a process, and the things that are involved in the buying process could also involve the strategies and the finances or the things that you need to do in order to buy the property. But today I want to go through 6 or 7 things that you really need to do in order to buy your first investment property or your first buy-to-let property. Mr. Smith here from Frontline Wealth Solutions. When you think about buying a property, the first thing you really need to do is to have a proper mindset and to make a decision. To be able to make a decision, you need the investor's mindset. The mindset of somebody who's going to really just make a decision and stick to it. Somebody's going to say enough is enough, and I'm going to actually go and get a property. Some people, they make this decision, but other things stop them. But if you actually condition your mind and have an investor's mindset, then other problems that you might have, you will be able to handle them very easily. The second thing you need to do is to actually find a location and a property. If you want to find a location and a property, you can go to places like Rightmove, Zoopla. There are other places like Gumtree. For those of you in Ireland, Property Pal. And those of you around the world, there are other sites as well where you might check where properties are listed. There you can find a property, or you can find the location where you want to buy your investment property. I did a video on how to choose a location, whether you want to invest at home or away from home. Please do check that video. Once you have found the deal or found the property, the next thing you need to do is to ring the estate agent and have a conversation with them. First, find out whether the property is still available, and if it is still available, ask them if you can actually view the property. One of the conversations I always like to have, even before then, is how much is the vendor willing to take? Is the vendor willing to move down a little bit, and what is the most amount they would really willing to take? Because sometimes the estate agent will tell you exactly what, no, not exactly, most will not actually, but some will give you an idea of what the vendor is willing to take and what they are not willing to take. You then take what they have said and you work your numbers. You actually go down to the numbers and find out, do the numbers work? Here we're talking about doing due diligence. Are you going to have a cash flow? Would that property give you profit? If you buy at that price, would you make profit from it? Or if you buy at a lower price, would you make profit from it? If you go higher, would you make profit from it? Once your numbers tally, then you can go on to make an offer. And there is a video as well, check it, on how to actually calculate your cash flow, or how to calculate your interest, or how to calculate your return on investment. You then make an offer. How do you make an offer? You literally call the agent and say to them, look, I have reviewed what I saw last time with you during the viewing, and always be grateful, thank them for actually letting you view the property, and then say to them, look, if I were to make an offer, this is what I would give. And there are various ways. Again, there is a video of mine that I have shown you, or actually say how you make an offer in a very good way, so that it can be taken also in a good spirit. Because sometimes you will be offering what is really considered by the vendor to be very low, and what is also considered by the agent as being a low offer, and some of them are not really happy with those offers. But there is a way of actually making those offers and making it acceptable, and for them to take it to the vendor. For example, you could say something like, I'm an investor, and after working the numbers, or doing the numbers, or calculating the numbers of this property, what I found was that my numbers actually work at a certain point. And you ask them, are you sitting or standing? Say whatever they say, or you might say something like, well, if I were to make an offer right now, this is what I would do, and then you give the figure. Once you give that figure, be quiet. The person who speaks next. Let's look at the next point. Follow up. Once you have made the offer, you then need to follow up. and follow up means you ring them day after day and say to them, hey, I just want to check how you're doing. What's the progress of my offer? Has the vendor made a comment and have they accepted my offer? And they will naturally say no, because if you make an offer and it's accepted the first time, then you have offered too much. One advice I'll give is do not over push the agents. Once it comes to your side of the deal, you work fast. For example, once you go to the agent to actually view the property, they will ask some documents from you, and they will ask to find out a little bit more about you, and here are some of the things that you need to get ready. The first thing is your credit score. I made a video about this, so I spoke about your credit score in one of my videos. Do check that. You need to make sure that your credit score is good and that you can actually get a mortgage, that you are mortgageable. Then you don't need to take that along with you, but that is something at the back of your mind which you need to make sure that it is clean and clear and ready. But once you are going to see the agent, you need to have your ID, something with your picture on it. You need to have proof of address. Proof of address is usually a letter from a government organization, from your GP or from your bank, which has got the bank's details and the address on it. You also need a proof of deposit. Usually when you're buying a buy-to-let or an investment property, you will be required to provide 25% in most cases of the amount that you're going to use in purchasing the property. That's the deposit. You need to have some proof of that deposit, maybe a screenshot from your bank statement, or maybe the bank statement itself printed to show them that the money is there. And I can tell you, once the agents see that the money is there, they love you for it. They can accept literally any offer from you. Not really, but they will be more inclined to accept an offer from you because they know you have the money and you will move fast. Then you need to have what is called a mortgage in principle, or the decision in principle. This is something which you will acquire by speaking to a mortgage advisor or speaking to the bank itself and saying to them, look, I want to now buy properties. If I do find a property, will you lend me the money? Well, they would then say, yes, we can lend you this type of amount of money depending on A, B, C, D. There are so many conditions. There's one of my videos explaining those conditions. You can check that. And then they will give you a printout of a letter, and you take that letter along with the amount or with the figure written on it and signed by them. This is called decision in principle. When you show the agent this decision in principle, again, they know that you are mortgageable and that you can buy a property. What else do you need? You now need to start thinking of your solicitor. Do you have a solicitor? Do you have an accountant? Do you have a mortgage, a broker? And these people, you need to actually speak to them and let them know your intention. Let them know that you are about to buy a property. Again, in one of my videos, I do talk about these various team members that you need in order to buy a property. Well, at this point, I'm sure you now know a simple process of how to buy a buy-to-let property. First, you start with a great mindset, make the decision to buy, check your credit score, make sure that you have a proper and good history. But if you do not have, of course, there are ways that you can still buy property without that type of a perfect or a good credit history. Next thing is that you check for deals, and you can go to Rightmove, Zoopla, and all of those platforms which I've mentioned. And once you find a good location and a good deal, you ring the agent, find out if you can view, then you go to view the property. And once you're going to view, you get some form of identification and some of those documents that we mentioned. Take it to them, view the property, come back, work on your numbers again, and make an offer. Once you've made the offer, the dream property deal then is hinging on your follow-up. Do not pester them. But when it comes to your part of the deal, that means when the offer is now accepted and the solicitors are working on your case and trying to get this property actually bought on your behalf, it is your responsibility to work fast. If they ask for any papers, give them as fast as you can. If they ask for any proof of anything, work as fast as you can. but they work as fast as they can. Do not push them, because you might get on the wrong side of their shoe. On your side, work fast as you can, and that will hasten the process, because they also like somebody who's going to work fast with them, so they can turn the process around very quickly, buy, complete, and give you the keys. Then they can make their commission and you can own your house. Thanks very much for watching. Stay blessed and see you in our next video.